Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the Rebirth server. We are with Quintessence last hour, level 47 Brute. It was just a smidge away, just 100,000 XP away from our next level 48 with 3 more enhancement slots, and that is going to happen this episode because 100,000 is nothing at this level. And we are on a story arc, and we are bringing the tome that we just got from the Persephone tome to Azuria to do a ritual and try and remerge the split personalities of the scientists that we've been trying to help for the last couple of episodes. So this is the mission, take the tome to Azuria, and I'm pretty sure she's going to send us somewhere else to do a mission. She says, "Thank you. I want to warn you of something. I have sensed a presence reaching out from the ether, a malevolent presence. It may be that a conscious mind is behind these dreadful dimensional ruptures. If that's so, I fear you may be the one to face it down." Yes, of course we will face it down, and we will face it down at +3, at least to start with. So, Unai says, "You did good work helping those portal scientists, Quintessence last. But it looks as if the mages you rescued are correct. The number of dimensional ruptures is increasing exponentially. A rupture just opened minutes ago right here in Paragon City. We need to close it. But more importantly, we need to get rid of the creatures that came through. Reports of a psychic clockwork. So we're going to fight the psychic clockwork king at +3, guys. This is going to be quite the fight, I suspect. And we'll try it and see. If I can't beat him at +3, then I'll take it down to +0 and we'll beat him that way. But we'll try him at +3. We've been doing really well. We've been very successful. I'm going to go ahead and let's refill our resistance and defense mixed. Oh, we have accuracy damage as well. That's a team one. So that was a reward. We've got defense here somewhere. I believe there are more of them, yes. So we can get 2 more of those. May as well use them up. And a team resist. Use it up. Okay. I think this should be enough to give us a chance against Psychic Clockwork guy. Don't know if we're going to be clearing the rupture, fighting the king. We'll see. Let's take a look when we get inside. There's a whole bunch more scuttlebutt about the homecoming guys, and I'll talk about that when we get into a lull where we're just fighting enemies. But let's do our mission first, and I'll get to the gossip in a bit. Okay, so this is just close the rupture. Oh, and defeat all. Oh, gosh. All right, so this is going to be a really long mission. Just defeat everybody and close the rupture. So we'll just start. And this is probably going to be the only mission we do this episode. So since it's going to be a mind-numbing one, this isn't the one where we go fight the Psychic Clockwork King. It's just close the rupture. Let's go ahead and talk gossip. Let's talk about the scuttlebutt of the homecoming servers. So if you recollect the last episode, I talked about how the homecoming group had rescinded their global ban on recording and posting publicly gameplay on their servers. And it's now okay to post. However, there are some provisos and quid pro quos. The one I mentioned last time was that you're not allowed to put it behind a paywall. Now, that may be somewhat reasonable, since putting something behind a paywall and getting a profit from it, that potentially raises some issues, given that this is a technically illegal server that is relying on stolen code, and so you could maybe see that. What I hadn't realized, because I didn't watch their little video about it, and I wasn't paying a lot of attention directly, since I don't plan to ever show any gameplay anymore on the homecoming server. And after what I've heard this last day from the people who are the other streamers I'm on a private Discord with them. I will never show anything from Homecoming, and I don't think I'm going to play on Homecoming anymore either. Other than maybe occasionally logging in and playing Silver Phoenix a little bit because she is my first and favorite character. So, what they told me is if you read everything they said and you listen to everything they talked about in their videos and stuff and their Discord, what they've said is not only aren't you allowed to put it behind a paywall, you're not allowed to say anything negative about them. That's right. If I record gameplay on the Homecoming servers to post, I am not allowed to say anything negative about the Homecoming people or their server. And we have leveled up. Not allowed to say anything negative about them. I may only say positive things, or I guess neutral things. They have got to be kidding me. So I said, well, that's fine. I'll just keep playing on the Rebirth server and say plenty of negative things about them. One of which is you can't control what people say. And they shouldn't try. Right? And this, whenever I see a rule like this, right, my immediate reaction is, what are you afraid of? That you must know that there are lots of negative things to say if your first thing that you're going to tell me is I can't say anything negative about you on if I play on your server. Right? This is guys, an even worse example of when I talked about how on forums they'll often moderate and ban anybody who says anything negative about their game, right? Anybody who disagrees with the devs, etc. This shows that they're afraid of criticism. They don't just dislike it, they're terrified of it. They're afraid of it, and you can't do it. And the thing is this, I would certainly respect isn't the right word. I don't respect those guys at all. But I would certainly acknowledge that it's their servers. And if they wanted to ban someone's account from their servers for saying things they don't want us to say, while recording gameplay footage on their servers, that's up to them. But they're not doing that. What they're doing is they're trying to get you taken down from YouTube or Twitch. They're issuing like takedowns and copyright notices and things like that. And somebody just told me, and I'm waiting for confirmation, but he's apparently gone idle in the Discord, that I thought these were threats, but that someone actually did get hit with a takedown from them because they said something negative. And that just is infuriating. You shouldn't do that. To try to take somebody down because they said something negative about you, that's ridiculous. If you want to, take somebody down for actual copyright violations or something, that's one thing. Although I personally wouldn't try to do that. But because you said something negative about them, they try to do a takedown. That's just completely ridiculous and shows the absolute fragility of the egos of all the people involved in Homecoming. Because you have to be super fragile if you're going to issue a takedown of somebody just because they said something negative about you. Beyond that, and to me, far worse than any of the rest of this, as bad as it all is, we have another case, and this was actually said by one of these, one of the streamers, and somebody, again, in the private Discord I'm in, posted a clip. And again, I'm not going to name anybody because I don't want to get anybody into trouble. I don't want to get anybody hit with a takedown notice. But this guy was saying they were threatening to take down anybody, to try to take down, get this, anybody streaming City of Heroes after they put the ban from streaming or recording, posting video recorded on their servers. They actually threatened him with, if there's any City of Heroes content, even if it's not on our servers, we're going to try to get you taken down. They didn't want anybody posting gameplay of City of Heroes, not just from their servers, but from anywhere, which one of the other guys was saying, yeah, that's because what they realized once they banned it on their servers, people would be posting from the other servers, and it would get those other servers to have interest, right? If you guys see me playing on Rebirth and you say, hey, Rebirth is cool, and the Homecoming guys are jerks, you might start playing on Rebirth, and then you're not going to play on Homecoming, right? And so So these guys, not only did they say you can't say anything negative about us in footage from our server, but they don't want you even recording footage from another server and saying negative things about them, or just recording it at all. So my guess is, if I weren't so small time and they actually knew I existed, they'd be trying to get me taken down for this conversation right here that I'm having, which is negative about them, saying that they shouldn't be doing this stuff and that I won't play on their server. That is just so obnoxious. And my answer is, then fine, I'll just stay on Rebirth. There are actually some things. Actually, I think I said this. I went and made a heroic version of a stalker that had been a villain in the live game, and I did it on Homecoming, and I was going to play there because you can actually do veteran levels and incarnate stuff there without having to do the incarnate trials, and I kind of wanted to do that a little bit, and so I made up a character that it would be reasonable to do that with, and I was going to play her, and not anymore. Like, I'm not playing on their servers anymore. I will stay on Rebirth. But again, it makes me glad that I record these things, and it makes me glad not only that I recorded them, but that I saved a lot of them outside the auspices of YouTube. Because all that has to happen, I mean literally, is these, I'll say it, assholes at Homecoming get wind of the fact that I make videos of City of Heroes, and they decide they don't like what I'm posting, and they're going to try to get me taken down. And so yeah, I'm glad I have all my video, not all my videos, but a lot of the videos, the Silver Phoenix stuff and everything. I have a lot of it saved to my hard drive, and I can watch it anytime I want. They can't take it off my hard drive. And by the way, I'm super glad that I did not use my normal personal private email to sign up on their servers, because I didn't know if I could trust them. I didn't know whether their site might get hacked, and I might get somebody might try to do ID theft or whatever. Because of all that, I made up a scratch email. I had one already. I used it. I just used the email like for this, right? It's the login. It's got the login for both servers and for this YouTube channel, and my identity of Scrapperlock. And I've never said my real name, and I've never exposed my personal email, and I never will. There are lots of privacy reasons to do that, but I'm super glad I've been ultra protective of it with regard to City of Heroes, because those guys would probably try to get me taken down, not just for these videos, but they would probably try to go after my whole account and everything like that. So this is going to be a real pain trying to get all these guys in every nook and cranny. By the way, I hate this map. This is probably the worst map in the entire game. It's incredibly long, incredibly repetitive, very tedious. Probably worse than the outdoor Boomtown map, but not by much. I mean, that one's really bad too. I just don't like these outdoor missions, frankly. So yeah, I just couldn't believe. I mean, all of the people on the Discord that I'm on, the streamers, are just furious. And my guess is, if you watch any of the other ones that have been streaming, especially ones that have been continuing to do it after the Homecoming ban last year, and have been using like Rebirth or COXG or one of the other servers. And one of the things, by the way, I hate about this map is that they keep like walking around, and you think a level is clean, and no, one of them fell from above, and you've got to go back and clean the same level up again, which is really annoying. Anyway, if you've been following these other guys, you'll hear about this, because a lot of them have already posted about it. One of them's doing one of them did a live stream last night, I think. One of them's doing one tonight. One of them's doing one tomorrow. and I think somebody else is doing one Monday or something. I can't follow it all, and I'm not gonna name anybody here again because in part for safety, I don't want Homecoming. The guys who watch Homecoming, if they run Homecoming, if they happen to watch this video, I don't want them to like know the names of these other people and go do takedown notices to them. So, like, if they take me down, I don't want it. I don't want to take somebody else down with me. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to be very careful not to name anybody. The one guy was really funny. I guess he has a fairly large following. He plays on Twitch. And he's been after me because I said, I'm going to be stopping soon. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, this character's 47th level. After she's 50th, I've done, a bunch of other characters, and I feel like I'm done. And he said, oh, do some, like, Iron Man challenges. And he's been kind of after me to continue playing, but to just do some, like, weird challenges instead of going all the way from 1 to 50. And I can talk about that in a little bit, but we were talking about this whole idea of them taking us down, and I'm like, yeah, they're not going to take me down. And he said, what do you mean? Or that's the spirit or something like that. And I said, no, I'm not being defiant, although I feel defiant. I said, I'm not being defiant. It's just that my channel's really small. Hardly anybody watches it. And it's just hard to imagine these guys would even, they don't even know it's there. And he said, oh, don't be so sure, search algorithms and everything. I'm like, yeah, it's such a small channel, I can't imagine that they would, like, nobody even knows I post except for the handful of people that watch it. And he said, well, we can fix that. I'll mention your channel on my Twitch stream when I stream live tonight. And he said, well, we'll get you some more views. And I said, that's very nice, but it's not necessary. I'm not really in it for the views. I'm just sort of doing it for fun. And, I don't know if he really understands that, because almost everybody else in the whole world that posts stuff to YouTube is trying to get views and likes. And, they're always telling you to smash that like button and subscribe and, go to my Patreon and give me some money. And I'm like, I don't do any of that. I'm not trying to make money from this. It never occurred to me to do that. I also would have been very concerned about the legality of trying to make money from this, because it's technically not legal for this thing to even exist on a server, and it's certainly ethically questionable to play on it, in terms of how the code was swiped from NCSoft. Now, if NCSoft decides that they don't mind and it's okay, well, that would be great if that ended up being their decision, but I don't think it ever will. And so, yeah, I'm not trying to make money from this, and I'm not trying to get views, and I'm not trying to get fame, and I'm not trying to, like, make a living as a YouTuber, right? That's never been even remotely in my mind, right? I know other people do it. I have no interest, right? I do this purely as a hobby, right? And I've a good job, and I don't need to make any money from this, and I don't need fame or any of that. So anyway, so Iron Man mode, what he was talking about is, what he does is, first of all, permadeath, right? If your character dies, sir will be coming down in 15 minutes to apply triple XP. Oh, well, that stinks. Alright, well, I'm going to try to beat this in 15 minutes. If I cannot, then I will auto-complete it, because I'm not playing this again, because I hate this mission. I hate this map. Let's put it that way. So, anyway, what he does is, if his character dies, he can't res. He has to start over. Like, that's the end of the character. He's not allowed to trade down influence, so he has to just start clean. And he can only buy what he can afford with the influence he actually earns with his character. And then he sometimes does other challenges, like street hunts only, or I don't know, no story arcs, or no architect, or only architect. The thing with that is, although, it sounds kind of interesting, like, he does it live, and people watch, and, like, basically they watch until his first death. and let's see how long I can go, right? You can go 3 hours, you can go 5 hours, whatever. But to me, doing that as a YouTube video or a series of YouTube videos, I'm not sure how engaging that would be. And I've done all the content, and I'm sure as hell not going to just play a character to level 50 doing street hunts. I don't like street hunts. I'm not going to make myself do stuff that I don't like. The other issue, I think, is my instinct is, despite being a scrapper lock person and liking to dive in as a scrapper, my instinct, especially in the lower levels, is to be quite cautious anyway. And I think knowing that if my character dies, I have to delete her and start over again would make me even more cautious. And I'm not convinced that that is going to be that much fun to watch either. Because I think I don't know, you guys can let me know, but I would imagine it's much more fun to watch me dive into an insanely large spawn that's way over what my character should be able to do and try to kick butt and survive than it would be to watch me, like, doing single pulls out of a spawn. Right? I'm sure that's fine to watch occasionally, but if I was just doing that for 50 levels against street spawns, like in hazard zones or something, I don't think people would find that fun. And I wouldn't find it fun to do. So I don't know. I mean, that's not really, like I said to him, I've already done like the one run. Well, 2 of my runs have already been with no influence trade downs, right? Because Silver Phoenix was my first character. That one's a little bit iffy because somehow or other somebody somehow gave me like 10 million influence, or I got it, or I don't know. I don't know what happened. I ended up with 10 million more influence than I should have had. And so I guess that wasn't a pure Iron Man run in that sense. Tiger Strike absolutely was. Not only didn't she get any extra influence from anybody and there were no trade downs, but I just did that as pure SOs. So I've already kind of done that. My characters hardly ever die, so I'm not sure how much value, running in quote Iron Man would get me. I feel like I've played this game so many different ways and I've done all the content that it's hard for me to imagine how much more I could do that would be interesting. So I just don't see it happening, and my guess is that I will stand by what I said in the last few episodes, and this will be the final character I do, and we're looking at her last 2 levels now that we're level 48, and I'll probably do the level up in the next episode since we're very much running out of time here. And I don't know if they're going to do a 10-minute announcement. I think they would have already passed that. So my guess is the next announcement will be 5 minutes, and if I don't have this beaten by 5 minutes, I'm going to go outside and auto-complete it, because I'm not doing it again. It's just not. I don't like this map. It's too hard to find them all. They're hidden in all the nooks and crannies, and it's defeat all just to defeat all, right? It's long just to be long. It's a time sink just to be a time sink, and that's true of all the outdoor defeat all maps, and I universally despise all of them. But this is one of the worst in terms of the map design. And this sort of map makes me feel like there was a dev, like one of the mission writers, who just was a jerk and was purposely trying to make missions that sucked. And I've said this before, if they weren't trying to make it suck, they did an amazingly good job of making it suck if they weren't trying. They could not have made it suck more if they had been trying on purpose to make it suck. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I don't think we're going to make this, guys. It's too long. It takes too long. And there just isn't any way to do it quickly with this character. She doesn't really have AoEs. Right, other than her punch, like the Shadow Maul. The other AoEs don't do enough damage, and she just can't She can do single target damage super fast, but not area damage super fast. And so I don't think we're going to make it. How long have we been in here? 25 minutes. I'm going to give it like 3 more minutes and then I'm going to stop. So I know there's at least one more guy around the corner. Let's see who else I can find. Yeah, there's just so many levels to this, and there are a dozen guys or so on every single level. You know, there's a guy down below. I'm hoping... Oh, there's a boss. Okay. I'm hoping that if I kill these guys, it'll give me a red diamond or triangle or whatever to where the last guy down below is, because I don't know where he went. And he might have gotten caught in the pipes. Sometimes that happens, and then you're kind of screwed. You can't target them, or you can target them, but you can't attack them. In which case, the mission can't be completed. That happened to both Tiger Strike and Silver Phoenix, I think. Now, these guys we should be able to AoE pretty easily. And it did not give me a red triangle. And guys, I think that means we're going to have to stop. So I'm going to try to find this guy down below. I'm not sure where he went. He like floated off. Down here by these pipes. But I don't know where he went. He might have got caught inside the pipes. So we're going to stop. And we're going to head out. There's just no point to continuing this, especially when they're about to shut down the server. So we're going to go ahead and just auto-complete this mission. And I guess we might have time to get to 48th level here. If this thing will load. Come on. Come on, you can do it. So let's call him and complete the current mission. Okay, so thank you, Quintessence Last. Alright, so we cleaned that out. We're done here. Let's go ahead and quick level up. I think we should be alright to do that. There's another minute or two, I think, left. Let's get our slots. And we want to get 2 in Dark Consumption and 1 in Physical Perfection, and we are done. Guys, I will enhance this next time. Until next time, I am Scrabberlock, and this is City of Heroes on the Rebirth server.